Well, first of all, there's no suspicion, there's no guessing, there's definitive proof that the Islamic Republic of Iran is behind the attacks from Hamas. And how do we know this? Well, they have been funding Hamas for years. About 93% of Hamas's revenue, of their funding, comes from Iran. They not only fund them, they train them, they equip them with the military equipment that you saw that was used to attack Israel just last weekend. So I'm sort of sick of the administration playing this game of, well, we don't know, was their finger actually on the button or not? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Hamas doesn't have the capability to exist as a terrorist organization to go after Israel. By the way, neither does Hezbollah in Lebanon, neither do the Houthis in Yemen, neither do the Shia militia groups in Iraq that attack U.S. interests, and neither does Assad in Syria. This is Iran's playbook around the Middle East. They have no desire for peace for the Middle East. They have no desire to be a stability. They want to be a destabilizing force. Look at every country in the Middle East that is under the influence of the Iranian regime. It's a chaos and it's somewhat basically a failed state.
Morgan, as I read that report from the New York Times, a question sticks out to me like a mountain in the middle of the report. If it is true that Iran has been coordinating these high-level meetings dating back to March and training and planning going on back a year, with reported camps in Lebanon to help these guys prepare for this attack, how did this escape Israeli and U.S. intelligence? It is, I have yet to stumble upon or hear a sufficient answer for, and I don't know, Morgan, that the word failure accurately could describe what we're hearing here. How was this not caught by intelligence?
I have no idea. Listen, I'm just as impassioned as you are about it. I hope that we find this out soon, and we need to find it out because we need to know what other plots may exist. Remember that whenever Hamas, whenever Iran, whenever they chant death to Israel, they also chant death to the United States. They knew that they would kill Americans whenever they came into Israel. It's almost impossible with almost 300,000 Americans that are living or visiting Israel at any moment in time. They knew they would get Americans in this. That was a feature, not a bug, a feature of the attack. So we will have to learn in coming days how this could be missed. Of course, it's incredibly concerning to me from the American perspective because we got Afghanistan wrong, we got Russia invading Ukraine wrong, and now this. There's almost no theater in the world where we don't see rogue dictators and despots and other bad actors acting out in a way that we never saw over the last 4 years of the Trump administration. Well,
so Morgan, earlier in the show, we talked about what comes next in Gaza, what comes next in Israel will serve in the propaganda war to follow. And then as the domino falls in the geopolitical potential ramifications, we're already seeing that. So Reuters reported just moments ago, Morgan, that Saudi Arabia is putting their peace deal with Israel on ice amid this war, and in fact has started to engage with Iran. Morgan, now that is what we hear, exactly what Iran wanted from this, that they were hoping for an Israeli response that would serve as propaganda to scuttle the Saudi peace deal. And I don't know that we anticipated this, drive Saudi Arabia closer to Iran?
Yeah, listen, let's hope not. But why did Saudi Arabia go closer to Iran? Well, because the Chinese Communist Party brokered a truce. And how do we know about it? We learned it from the New York Times. The administration basically had no clue. They weren't involved. We look up and we see these two countries together in Beijing having a truce. So, listen, I hope that we can still interdict and intercede and get Saudi Arabia eventually back to the negotiating table. But remember, not only is this what Iran wanted, this is also what China wanted, right? You're seeing China displace the United States and the Middle East, brokering agreements between between Iran and Saudi. So what I am really concerned about, what we should all be watching for is, of course, I think, unfortunately, it is when, not if, Hezbollah, which is in Lebanon, gets involved, and then Israel has to deal with a two-front war. Remember, this is what Iran wants. They want to wipe Israel off the map. They want a total war. We need to start believing dictators and despots. Whenever Putin says that he wants to take over Ukraine and Crimea, we should have believed him. The Biden administration should not have stopped the military aid that the Trump administration was giving Ukraine. We should have believed the Taliban when they wanted to take over Afghanistan. We should believe Xi Jinping when he prepares the PLA, his military, to be ready to take over Taiwan by 2027. We should believe Iran when they want to wipe Israel off the face of this map. Why do we not believe all of these people? We continue to think in the Biden administration that they want to be liked at cocktail parties in Paris and in Georgetown. Wake up, people. It's a dangerous, nasty world out there, and they want to kill all of us if they can.